Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Double Reward. Today's surah, which is Surah Al-Layl, starts out by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swearing. He swears by the night as it envelops. Imagine that the night is coming and you see that the blanket of darkness begins to cover everything. Now that's a striking picture. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by this, and that means that something else very important is coming up. So we should listen to what's coming up after these oaths that are in the Quran. Now, this surah, Surah Al-Layl, is an interesting surah because it explains a very important thing. The principles that you live by, your philosophy, the things that you're true to throughout your life, whether good or bad, they lead to a path. They lead to a destination. So if you have good principles and you're true to high morals, this will lead you to ease. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you by making doing good deeds easy for you. But if a person chooses to follow another path, and he chooses to be true to other lesser morals, then Allah will ease the way for him into hardship and difficulty. So it's very important to ask yourself how you're living. What are the principles that you're living by and are being guided by? Now inshallah we're going to read the surah today, but today's surah is a little bit long. So we're going to break it up inshallah into two chunks. So inshallah get ready to listen. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى وأما من بخل واستغنى وكذب بالحسنى فسنيسره للعسرى وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى. I seek refuge in Allah from Satan the accursed. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. By the night, as it envelops, and by the day, as it appears in brightness, and by Him who created male and female. Certainly, your efforts and deeds are diverse. As for him who gives in charity, and keeps his duty to Allah, and fears Him, and believes in the fairest reward, we will make smooth for him the path of ease. But he who is greedy, who is a greedy miser, and thinks himself self-sufficient, and gives the lie to the fairest reward, we will make smooth for him the path for evil. And what will his wealth benefit him when he goes down in destruction? So you see how the surah at the very end reminds us that if a person's chosen to live by a bad set of morals or a bad philosophy, or has chosen to live in a bad way and has belied the reward of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the money or the wealth that he's acquired along this path, it's not going to benefit him. It's not going to benefit him when it counts. Okay, let's practice that surah inshallah. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
والليل إذا يغشى
والليل إذا يغشى
والنهار إذا تجلى
والنهار إذا تجلى
وما خلق الذكر والأنثى
وما خلق الذكر والأنثى
إن سعيكم لشتى
إن سعيكم لشتى
فأما من أعطى واتقى
فأما من أعطى واتقى
وصدق بالحسنى
وصدق بالحسنى
فسنيسره لليسرى
فسنيسره لليسرى
وأما من بخل واستغنى
وأما من بخل واستغنى
وكذب بالحسنى
وكذب بالحسنى
فسنيسره للعسرى
فسنيسره للعسرى
وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى
وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
والليل إذا يغشى
والليل إذا يغشى
والنهار إذا تجلى
والنهار إذا تجلى
وما خلق الذكر والأنثى
وما خلق الذكر والأنثى
إن سعيكم لشتى
إن سعيكم لشتى
فأما من أعطى واتقى
فأما من أعطى واتقى
وصدق بالحسنى
وصدق بالحسنى
فسنيسره لليسرى
فسنيسره لليسرى
وأما من بخل واستغنى
وأما من بخل واستغنى
وكذب بالحسنى فسنيسره للعسرى
فسنيسره للعسرى
وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى
وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
والليل إذا يغشى
والليل إذا يغشى
والنهار إذا تجلى
والنهار إذا تجلى
وما خلق الذكر والأنثى
وما خلق الذكر والأنثى
إن سعيكم لشتى
إن سعيكم لشتى
فأما من أعطى واتقى
فأما من أعطى واتقى
وصدق بالحسنى
وصدق بالحسنى
فسنيسره لليسرى
فسنيسره لليسرى
وأما من بخل واستغنى
وأما من بخل واستغنى
وكذب بالحسنى فسنيسره للعسرى وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى الحمد لله رب العالمين. أخي محسن, can you read the first verses for us, please?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى.
Okay, that was very nice. That was very beautiful. But I just want you to say وَالنَّهَارِ.
والنهار.
Very good. Can you say وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى.
والنهار إذا تجلى.
Okay, you have to work on that, but that was very good. I could hear the feeling in your voice. Ahmed, can you read that for us too? You can start from the beginning.
Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى.
Can you lengthen that for me, Ahmed? إن سعيكم لشتى. Instead of saying إن, say إن سعيكم. Ponder a little bit on that noon.
Okay. إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى
Okay, it's hard. فسنيسره
للعسرى.
لليسرى.
لليسرى.
Okay. Very good. Abu Yusuf, can you start from the beginning?
Yeah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى وأما من بخل واستغنى وكذب بالحسنى فسنيسره للعسرى وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى.
Okay, mashallah. Very good. Let's just practice that word, وَصَدَّقَ. Okay, it's a little bit hard. I just want to hear that sad sound.
وصدق.
Very good, mashallah. Excellent. Akhi Mus'ab, can you start from the beginning?
Yes. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى.
Okay, repeat after me. إن سعيكم لشتى.
إن سعيكم لشتى.
فأما من أعطى واتقى.
فأما من أعطى واتقى
وصدق بالحسنى.
وصدق بالحسنى
فسنيسره لليسرى.
فسنيسره.
Okay, let's talk about this word a little bit. I think the reason why it's so hard is because you have three letters that are right after each other that are pronounced in just about the same place. You've got the sin, which is pronounced up front, and then you've got the noon, which is also pronounced up front, and then you've got the ya, which is pronounced up front. Of course, these are all followed by the fa, which is also pronounced up front. So that's why it's kind of like a tongue twister. Okay? So say it slowly, you should be able to get it. فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ.
فسنيسره.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. لِلْيُسْرَى. وَأَمَّا مَنْ بَخِلَ وَاسْتَغْنَى.
وأما من بخل واستغنى.
وَأَمَّا مَنْ بَخِلَ وَاسْتَغْنَى.
وأما من بخل واستغنى.
Okay, can you say مَنْ بَخِل?
من بخل.
Okay, now here you got to be...
بخل.
Oh, good. Very good. Okay, keep going. وَاسْتَغْنَى.
واستغنى.
Okay, let's just do one more verse. وَكَذَّبَ بِالْحُسْنَى.
وكذب بالحسنى.
Okay, now what you need to do is you need to practice at home. Put in some time, inshallah, and you'll improve greatly, inshallah. Okay, that wraps it up, inshallah, for this surah, and we're going to come back after the break with Ahkam al-Tajweed. Assalamu alaikum, and I hope to see you soon. Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back. Today's rule is a very challenging rule. I remember when I was learning this rule, it was very hard for me to learn it and get all the conditions down. But inshallah, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to have you learn with your ear at least to tell the difference between the applications of the rule. Now remember what we said about the letters. We said some letters are nice letters. The rule always applies to them in exactly the same way. It's straightforward. Other letters misbehave a little bit. Sometimes one rule applies and sometimes another rule applies. And one of those letters is ar-ra. This letter is a rowdy letter. Sometimes it's pronounced with a full mouth, sometimes it's not. Before we start looking at why or when it's pronounced full mouth or not, let's get our ears tuned in. You're really, really going to have to listen in this episode. Let's look at the word Maryam. Repeat after me. Maryam.
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 Now, this time, pay attention to how you're pronouncing the ra. Maryam.
Maryam.
There's a small case of there being a full mouth, and it's a slight effect. Now listen to another example. Miryah. Repeat after me. Miryah.
مرية
Miryah.
مرية
It's very subtle. Repeat after me. Maryam.
مريم
Miryah.
مرية
Okay. Now let's look at some examples where it's full-mouthed. Let's look at the word ضرب. Repeat after me. ضرب.
ضرب
ضرب.
ضرب
ضرب.
ضرب
Okay. Let's look at another example where it's full-mouthed. Repeat after me. قروء.
قروء
قروء.
قروء
Okay. Ahmed, do you remember the word Maryam?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember the word Miryah?
Mhm.
Okay. Quru. That R there. Do you feel it's full-mouthed or not? Can you hear the difference there or no?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's full mouth.
Very good. Excellent. Good job. It's kind of subtle, but if you listen very carefully, you can get it. Let's look at another example. This example is a special word. It's Al-Qur'an. Repeat after me. Al-Qur'an.
القرآن
Al-Qur'an.
القرآن
So that ra, the ra or the r sound in Al-Qur'an is full-mouthed. The reason is a bit technical, and that is that there's a sukoon on the ra, which you can see, and there's a dhamma before it. So that means that it's going to be full-mouthed. Now, there are lots of rules and lots of different configurations for the letters and the marks on top of them, and that's a little bit detailed and technical. Inshallah, we're going to get to that later. But what I'm interested for here is a topical distinction, for you just to be able to hear the difference between the two and know, oh yeah, this is mufakham, this is full-mouthed, and this is not. Let's look at some examples where it's not full-mouthed. And there's usually going to be a kasra on the word, on the letter before the ra. Let's look at our example. La shir dhima. Repeat after me. La shir dhima.
لشر ذمة
La shir dhima.
لشر ذمة
Okay, Ahmed, what's on the sheen in la shir dhima?
Kasra.
Kasra. And then if you could tell me what's on the ra, that would be good.
Fatha.
Okay, listen one more time, and you can use our method if you're la shir dhima. What you can do is you can do it with your ear. You can say, for example, is it ra, ri, or ru?
Okay.
Or is it sukoon? La shir dhima.
Sukun.
Sukoon. Very excellent. Excellent. So we have a kasra followed by a sukoon. That means that it's not going to be full-mouthed.
Okay.
Can you hear that? La shir dhima. Okay. You notice how I'm pulling the corners of my mouth back a little bit. Okay. It's a little bit tricky. If you don't remember, the marks on the letter before and after, it's okay. But try to listen with your ear. Your ear should be able to guide you. Okay. Let's look at another example. Repeat after me. Shir'ah.
شرعة
Shir'ah.
شرعة
Okay. Ahmed, can you say that for me?
Shir'a.
Okay.
شرعة
Okay. Very good. Brother, can you say it?
شرأة
No, one more time.
شرأة
Shir'ah.
شرأة
Okay, that's better. Abu Yusuf?
شرعة
Okay, good. Abu Yusuf, do you feel that it's muraqqaq?
Yeah, I feel it.
Okay. I noticed that when you were saying it, you're pulling the corners of your mouth back a little bit. And that's another way to tell. Shir'ah. Okay, very good. Let's look at one more example. And that is the example of, repeat after me, shirk.
شرك
Shirk.
شرك
Shirk.
شرك
Okay. That ra is also muraqqaq. And you can tell, of course, because the sheen has a kasra on top of it, and the sukoon and the ra has a sukoon on top of it. Okay, now to drive this point home, let's look at some examples, and then we'll ask our participants here in the studio whether they think it's mufakham or muraqqaq. And while we're saying it, listen and try to come up with your own answer. Let's look at the example, Maryam. Ahmed, do you think that's mufakham or muraqqaq? Maryam.
مفخم.
Mufakham. Very good. How did you know?
Because there's a sukoon
On the ra,
on the ra and
a fatha
a fatha
on the mim, on the letter
mim.
before.
Yeah.
Okay. But could you tell with your ear?
Mhm.
Okay, all right. Akhi Abu Yusuf, how about the word miryah? Is that mufakham or muraqqaq?
It is murakkak.
Okay, how did you know?
I know it because the letter mim that is in front of a letter ra, it is with kasra.
Okay, good.
And after that, the ra is coming with sukoon.
Okay, so that means it's muraqqaq.
Yeah.
But I would be interested to know whether you could tell with your ear. Miryah. Do you feel like your ear can pick up the difference or no?
Yeah, it is a little bit fine.
Okay. Yeah, it's subtle. It's not easy, but if you listen, I think you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at another example, and that is Qur'an. Repeat after me. Al-Qur'an.
Al-Qur'an.
Okay. Ahmed, do you feel that is with your ear? Do you feel that's mufakham or muraqqaq? Al-Qur'an.
مرقق.
Muraqqaq? Okay, can you say it for me?
Al-Qur'an.
Okay. Abu Yusuf, do you agree?
No, I didn't. I
You don't
disagree
agree?
with you.
What is it?
It is mufakham because the letter kaf has dama and the ra has a sukoon on top of it. And if you listen it very well, you'll find it a little bit full mouth.
Okay. Now, even me sometimes, in the very beginning, it was hard. Sometimes I would look at it, now, is this mufakham or is this muraqqaq? And then I would have to go ask. But Abu Yusuf is right, okay? It is full-mouthed. Qur'an. Okay, let's look at another example. Shir'ah. Akhi Mus'ab, do you feel that that's full-mouthed or not? Shir'ah.
No, it's not.
It's not. Okay, very good. MashaAllah,
Because
that's
there is
correct.
sukoon before ra.
Okay, but it's not just the sukoon. You mean sukoon or you mean kasra?
And kasra, yes.
Yes, okay, all right.
Fawq.
Okay, and you can also tell with your ear. Shir'ah.
Shir'ah. It
Okay.
means
Okay, let's look at another example. I'll ask you too. How about shirk?
shirk also is same.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Okay, very good. Okay, so yani, to recap what we've looked at so far, the ra is one of those recalcitrant letters. Sometimes it's mufakham and sometimes it's muraqqaq. What it's going to depend on, it's going to depend on the mark on the letter before it as well as the mark on top of it. And this is one of the three letters that we discussed that are sometimes full-mouthed and sometimes not. We've already covered the lam in the word Allah. We looked at indallah and indillah, and there is one other letter, inshallah, which is the alif. This letter too misbehaves, and sometimes it's muraqqaq and sometimes it's mufakham. But inshallah, we're going to leave that for the next episode. For now, I want you to start paying attention to how the ra sound is pronounced. Try to listen with your ear, and also listen to a sheikh or a tape. These expert sheikhs really have these rules down pat. When you listen to them, you'll be able to hear the ra. But the benefit that you've gotten out of this lesson is that now you're aware. You're tuned into that letter. So you should pay attention to it. Another thing is you have to remember to practice. The Quran is a very special book. You have to keep coming back to it again and again. And when you do, you become familiar and you listen and you learn and you grow. But if you don't, you stop and you start, or you give it such little time, you're not going to really feel a benefit, or you're not going to really see the improvement. So it's very important for you to spend out significant time every day, if not maybe 3 or 4 times a week. But it has to be consistent, and it has to be enough time for the Quran to soak in. It's kind of like being in a neighborhood. When you first enter the neighborhood, you don't know where anything is. You're not familiar with it. But when you've lived in that neighborhood for a day or 2 weeks, months, years, you know it like the back of your hand. And that's the way the Quran is. It's like a house. When you go inside, and you spend a long time there, you become familiar with it. It imbues you with its atmosphere and with its colors, and you become very familiar and able to move around in it. That's very important. Okay, inshallah, that's enough for today's episode, and we hope to see you again tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.